President of the Rotary Club of Barnsley, it is my privilege to tell you a little about this club of ours as an introduction to the film that you are about to see. Our club was formed in 1922 and we are proud of the 40 years service we have given to the community and to the town. Over these years we have had many thousands of visitors, Rotarians and the sons of Rotarians. We have welcomed them and have greatly enjoyed offering to them our hospitality. But we realise that these ambassadors of goodwill are but few in relation to the vast numbers of Rotarians and Rotary clubs throughout the world. We believe that personal contacts are the ideal way of promoting international goodwill and understanding, but we feel that the only practical alternative, that of correspondence, is but a poor substitute. So our International Service Committee got together and the idea for this film was born. We feel that it bridges the gap between the two alternatives, and we sincerely hope that it will serve its intended purpose of bringing our club and our town a little nearer to you, so that although you may not be able to visit us in person, you will perhaps, through this film, get to know us a little better. 4 members of the Barnsley Amateur Cine Club, using their own equipment and giving freely of their knowledge and time, have produced this film, and it is to them that we offer our grateful thanks.
Take a plane, take a car, or even take a long walk, and if your bearing's all right, you will arrive in a busy Yorkshire township on the eastern slopes of the Pennine Range. But for the present, why not just take a bus? A number 14 would do, and come with us to Barnsley. Our township lies some 19 miles to the south of Leeds and 14 miles to the north of the steel city of Sheffield. You could say Barnsley is closely akin to a supermarket with a county borough status, and thousands of people coming and going take advantage of one of the finest bus services in the country. Barnsley's 8,000 acres has a population of over 75,000 and also serves a busy industrial area of another 250,000 people. The town makes a natural shopping centre for the villagers around, and to this largest open-air market in the north of England come thousands of shoppers every week. For visitor and resident alike, Barnsley Market has much to offer. Something for the young, something for the not-so-young, something for everyone. Bananas by the bunch, apples by the pound, or it might be a bargain remnant to make a dress. And then again it might not. Local Olympic medalist Dorothy Hyman looks at some cups. Definitely not the race-winning type she usually collects. It was in 1249 that a charter was granted by King Henry III to hold a market day each week on a Wednesday. Where the thousands throng these days, it is worth recalling that when this charter was granted, it was likely that the customers did not number more than a few hundred, and only that on a fine day. It is by the way of Market Hill that a first glance is caught of the imposing headquarters of local administration, the Town Hall. It was the part of the celebrations to mark the Golden Jubilee anniversary of the granting of the county borough status to the town that a civic service was held in the parish church, followed by a parade through the town of representatives of virtually every local society and organisation. The people prayed and then paraded. The people's thanksgiving for half a century of prosperous self-government was also practical. For what better way to say a happy birthday to your hometown than to add to the collection of a civic silver plate? Barnsley citizens chose to show their solid faith in the future of their town by donating solid pieces of silver, not as mementos of a glorious past, but for use well into the future when entertaining guests of the county borough. As the elected first citizen of the town, it is the mayor who also presides over the monthly meetings of the town council. The symbol of authority, the golden mace, is carried in procession ahead of the robed mayor and the bewigged town clerk. It is not forgotten, however, that unless talk inside the council chamber is not converted into action outside the chamber, then it is all just so much hot air divorced from reality. And for most people, reality starts with a solution to the problem of finding somewhere to live. But not just somewhere to live, it has to be somewhere fit to live. And so the old dwellings come down to make way for the new. It is recorded the spot on which stands the town of Barnsley was in early times one immense forest, where the early Britons found shelter in caves and hollow trees. A far cry indeed from the 3-bedroom houses today provided by a council which started building homes in 1920, and which is now the biggest landlord in the town, drawing an average of 32 shillings a week from each of their 10,500 houses. Housing means homes. Homes means children. Children means schools have to be provided. Schools such as these, which provide primary and secondary education for some 14,000 children between the ages of 5 and 16. It has been the task of the local education committee to provide sufficient new primary schools such as these, not only to meet the needs of the new housing estates, but also to cope with the increasing child population. And the accent is not only on academic success. In following a policy of a healthy mind in a healthy body, the results have proved quite significant over the years. A good number of famous sporting personalities, the list includes boxing, football, and athletic champions, had their appetite first whetted for keeping fit in their school days here in town. As a nation, it is becoming more and more apparent that our survival will be largely dependent upon the money we spend on education, to produce the brains needed to keep pace with the ever-growing demand of the world today. Barnsley is meeting this challenge of the future by spending over half of her income from the local rates on education. It is recognised as a vital investment in the national economy. The College of Technology, with its 6,000 part-time and full-time students, was opened in 1932. The latest development was the opening of extensions which cost well over £500,000.